Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We got J-Dubs in the house. We're going to be talking about real estate, doing real estate deals, live at the hub. Man, it looks pretty good there on the old stream, huh? Not bad, not bad. All right, so welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Social Authority, it's your boy Pat Hilton here with JW Epstein, J-Dubs. And he buys houses in Amarillo and the greater Texas area. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Pat. Glad to be here.
Welcome back to the show.
Welcome back.
So we were talking earlier about all the different deal structures and underwriting deals and what's closing and what's not closing. And I think the one thing that we discussed that really hit for me was that real estate investors need other investors more than ever right now. Because deal sourcing, deal depositions, you can tell, you know, who I hang out with, dispositions, these are all different aspects, different expertise categories. Not everybody who's a disposition guy is great at acquiring and sourcing deals. They might be good at getting rid of them. Break down like the deal process and how you do it, so that people can get an idea of what you do. And then we can kind of go through how you can help people that might be watching.
So obviously you described there's two parts of the process. There's acquisitions and then there's dispositions. And those are two completely separate things. Just like it sounds, in acquisitions, I mean, you got to go acquire a property. So how am I going to acquire a property? Well, I've got to spend money on advertising. I've got to then call those people that fill out forms, and then they don't answer, and I got to follow up with them and follow up with them and follow up with them. So the best way is referrals. Those are the best kinds of leads that any investor can get. Is if your friends, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncle is selling a house, reach out to somebody you know. Have them call me. I'll tell them, you know, I'll show them all the numbers and let them know what I can do, and just to give some options. So after you agreed, now you've acquired the property. During that time, you've got to figure out what the house is going to sell for, how much money it's going to take to fix the house up. So that's the comping and underwriting portion. People struggle with that quite a bit. Mm-hmm. I can go pay whatever I want to for something, but it doesn't mean that it's going to make money. So I've got to dissect the deal and figure out, how am I going to be profitable, or how is someone else going to be profitable? Excuse me. And then you got to figure out how you're going to get rid of it. And there are actually people that specialize in disposing properties.
They're out there.
They're out there. Mr. House is one of them. Braden and Abby here, they live here in Fort Worth.
He's stopping by, I think, to shoot some videos finally.
Okay, cool. I've been trying to get him to come
That's
by.
That's what you said.
And then Fazio, I mean, he's here as well. Joey Durte, he handles some stuff out on the East Coast. The Bevins and Bombich. There's tons of people within, and then House of Bad. These are all dispo houses. I'm forgetting somebody. I'm sorry if I forgot you. Within Titanium University. So they help all the students within try to get rid of the houses. So, you got people calling, they'll get a house under contract, and then they'll transfer it to the dispo house to try to get rid of it, to find an investor looking for that property. And you were talking about how to do that in different aspects of it. Investors need all of those sources. There are people out there that want to invest in real estate that either don't have the time or the patience to deal with acquisitions. They don't want to go through those things. And so they reach out to people like myself, to bring them deals. Same with the dispo houses. They can then send those deals out to the other investors. If you're a doctor or you're a lawyer or you're Pat Hilton, I mean, you're doing this all day.
Right.
You don't have time. You don't have time to go and look for deals.
Right.
And that's where those people come from. and even within the space, so primarily I focus on residential, but if somebody brings me something that's commercial, I know investors that are looking for commercial deals. That's a whole other beast that I don't know anything at all about.
Dude, passing the puck in real estate is the most profitable thing that you can do, because there's only so many things that you can close. There's only so many deals that are even going to go over the goal line. Anyway, we see so many people post about how many contracts they've signed all the time. And then that doesn't mean that those are going to close. It doesn't mean that the money's going to go through. It doesn't mean that the seller isn't going to back out at the last minute. I mean, these are the things that even the MC knows from being around for a few years. This business is not just some kind of Rolex flashing, yacht out on the frickin' coast of Miami. This shit is work. You got to be in the trenches, and you need people. You need people to do the transactions. You need somebody else's money to get the transactions done. You need somebody to maybe potentially be on the disposition side. You need somebody to be calling all these leads while you're walking a house. There's all these things that need to be done. This is a real business. This isn't some kind of game.
And I'm glad you brought that up. So there's a lot of people on YouTube and Facebook that make this look like simple, like it's child's play. Oh, okay, I'm going to go and I'm just
Nothing in business is that simple.
No. And
maybe as an equation it is,
right.
But there's work that goes in to fill in every piece of that.
Absolutely. And so you've got to build a team. You either got to do it yourself or you got to start building a team. Well, one, you got to do it yourself so that you can do it, and then you start building on top of it. But no, it is hard work.
Yeah.
And wholesalers get a bad rap because we terminate deals. There are terminations in real estate that happen all the time. It is a normal part of the process in a real estate transaction. You put a house under contract so that you can do your due diligence, and once you've done some of that, if you've got to cancel, then you cancel the contract.
Right.
And a lot of times wholesalers are not upfront and transparent about that. And I do believe that they should be, but it is a normal part of the process.
From my point of view, because I'm kind of an outsider, I just happen to have inside information. You know what I'm saying? But from an outside perspective, someone who doesn't do real estate investing as my main business at all, I don't consider myself a real estate investor, but if you don't have people and you don't have two sides to the business deal in any business, it doesn't freaking work. And I think that people are trying so hard, and I said this earlier on a stream, they're spending all this time until 3 o'clock in the morning coding and building web apps and all these things. And you need to make sure that that time is being spent on something that is going to help you further the transactions in your business, or that's going to help me link to you and make it easier. For us, we spent a bunch of time making an app, but now you don't need to use Google Drive anymore. You can film your thing and dump it right to our team. It gives you a script, you film it, you dump it right to the team. You don't even have to think about it. Make sure that all the things that you are doing are either helping you get in front of the right people or helping the right people work with you in an easier, more efficient way.
There's so many distractions.
There's a million distractions
like
now.
that thing you've got in your hand. It's a wonderful tool.
Dude, social media is one of them. We've got a couple of viewers, and I don't want to get stuck playing, on my phone and with the viewers instead of having the conversation. There's a million dynamics here.
Yeah. But you're right. Like there's so many like shiny object syndrome. There's so many things out there that you say, oh, this is going to help me. This is going to help me. Well, if you don't spend the time to cultivate that, and actually use it to work, then all you did was take your eye off the prize.
100%.
It's going to cost you 100%.
So investors need investors more than ever. Now, we were talking about the Titanium Vault Group. We were talking about Titanium University. There's a bunch of like DFW investment groups. Those are pretty good. But Facebook groups, folks, they're free. Your Facebook account is free to use. I've said for a long time, I think Facebook is the best social networking tool. It's the best platform. It's the best place to build a community. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn has a group feature, but it's not that great. Facebook is the place where everybody goes to actually social network. Instagram, there's so many people that bought comments and likes likes and views and all this shit for years. And it's like, that may have worked back in the day, but it doesn't anymore. The good old fashioned handshake and just being great at one thing. And again, this is another RJ Bates lesson that I've also said forever. He calls it the hedgehog concept. Yeah. But like, dude, how about pick something and just do it? You know, I'm glad there's a name for that concept. But like, how about pick something, get great at it, get known for that, become an expert at that, and you will eventually get paid. That's what I was always taught from like 8 years old. And so despite the fact that, you know, my dad and I maybe butted heads on certain things, there was money to be made doing media. And he always agreed with that, sent me to a dope school and everything. But the use of media to connect people now, like what we're doing, is so valuable. Some people aren't even using that.
It's super easy.
How can people feel a little bit more confident about communicating what they do and just putting themselves out there? Because they're going to get overlooked in the next 12 to 24 months if they don't, and it's going to hurt their business.
So people look, and I've been on, and people comment, it was hard when I started, but just be you. Just turn it on. Talk about what you're doing. Talk about what you want to do. Talk about your day. People are interested in that. I had someone reach out to me yesterday. He's going to call me later this afternoon, but he's wanting to know how to get started to create a try to create a brand and start making posts. Like, where do those come from? Just talk about what you're doing. You're great at it. Obviously, it's your job, but you got to let people know. You got to be loud. If you're over in the corner being silent and being quiet, but you're wanting business, you're never going to get business.
Even if you pay for a booth, one of the biggest mistakes I see people make is they want to be a sponsor at the events, and you should sponsor events. I think that's very generous. There's a lot of people that sponsored a lot of events that I performed at, and I wouldn't have gotten paid without the sponsors. But you want to be the person with the booth that everybody actually remembers. You don't want to just be the person in the corner. You want to be the guy that everybody remembers. And the best way to be the person that everyone remembers is to have them know who you are before you show up.
100%. So I sold cars before I started doing real estate. And so I learned this a long time ago. If people don't know what you're doing, they can't find you. And the worst thing you can do if you're in real estate, if I'm a real estate investor, I'm buying houses. I mean, if people don't know what I'm doing, the worst thing that's going to happen is I run into them at the grocery store, at church, haven't seen them in years, wherever. And they're like, oh, what are you doing these days? And I tell them, oh, my grandma just passed away, and my parents sold their house, and we just called this guy in the newspaper, nobody reads the newspaper. We called this guy off Facebook.
That guy probably does.
That guy might. You got to know what I'm doing. So that's the reason you got to put yourself out there. Let people know what you're doing. Talk about your wins. Talk about your losses, because we all have bad days.
Well, dude, the losses, talking about that stuff is almost as important, if not more important, than the wins, because as I've said all morning on streams, and we were talking about it yesterday doing a session here, dude, for a while, people were programmed to think that like the Miami Rolex yacht thing was like success on social media, when in reality, that is so a 5-hour afternoon of a successful person's life. And I think that you can't magnify that too much and act like that's every day, because it's not. Or you're an actor. And you can't just be an actor or play or pretend business. Unfortunately, there's no pretending. It's very real. It's very transparent. It's stressful. There's a lot of anxiety and worry. Is this going to happen? That going to happen? There's all these things that have to connect for you to do business every single day. Every single day, all these variables are in play, and some of them you don't even have any control over. And so I think Layla Harmozy posted this, that, you know, entrepreneurship is great and being a business owner is great because it reveals how much you can actually withstand and continue going. And that is more of a lesson in itself than making money or, being successful or having a nice house or any of that kind of stuff. All of those things are a result of how much you can continue to withstand and go forward and continue to get better at what you do. That's why this picking something or hedgehog concept or whatever you want to call it, you need to get really, really good at something. And then you need to become the solution for that something for the marketplace or the world. For some people, like Jimi Hendrix was the first guy to ever play guitar, an electric guitar a certain way. He is now going to be remembered forever as that thing. What is that thing for you? I think everyone is a freaking rock star. It's just that they need to figure out what song they're going to sing.
The first thing you got to do is you got to go do it. There are so many people that have dreams, and I used to be one of them. But you got to start. You got to go do it, and you're going to fail. Entrepreneurship will teach you that. It's 24/7. Does it ever?
100%.
Does it ever stop?
Never does.
That was the best thing. I mean, that's a great analogy. I mean, the yacht deal. I mean, that's a 5-hour afternoon.
It's a 5-hour afternoon. We're acting like this is every day. It's not reality, guys.
Yeah, maybe it's a vacation, right? So how good are you on vacation? Let me ask you that, Pat. Let me ask you the questions.
I do okay because, I've got my phone. We're social media, so we're a remote company, essentially, even though we do a lot more in person than some people. But I'm okay, because I can still be active and keep up with stuff.
I'm good for about 3 days. After that, like, my skin starts crawling. I'm like, I feel like I'm missing something. I'm working on that. I mean,
yeah.
I wish I were better. But.
Well, I also think, and we talked about this earlier, and you met my wife earlier too. It's like, you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision when you want to do something. You have to make a decision that is the number one priority. And this is one of those Cardonisms that I agree with that some people might not like. If you can't take care of you and your shit, that needs to be number one. Then you can't do anything for your family or for your kids or anybody. Now that might mean you gotta go to church on Sunday and not cuss like Pat Hilton and not, do this and that, and that's totally fine. Those are your non-negotiables. Set whatever those things are and make sure that you do those things, but also all those things need to fuel the success in Department A, because if Department A is not taken care of, there is no Department B. And I think people get hung up on that, like life's supposed to be all about balance, or life is supposed to be so great all the time, and it's just, it's impossible, because great is moments. There's going to be greater moments and there's going to be not so great moments. So if everything is supposed to be great all the time,
there would be no bad.
If
you haven't ever experienced bad, you have no idea what great is.
I think that, and this all goes into how you perform every day. Because if you don't wake up ready to go to work and ready to be dedicated, then you're not going to be successful. And so a lot of people will tell you, and this is where I disagree with Mr. Cardone, is that don't follow your passion. It's like, all right, dude, well, if nobody ever followed their passion, there would be no Wayne Gretzky. There would be no Michael Jordan. There would be no Muhammad Ali. There would be no Tiger Woods. There would be no Jimi Hendrix. There would be no Eric Clapton. There would be no Bob Marley. There would be no Mick Jagger. There would be no guy that wrote your favorite book, Mr. Cardone. So like, as much as like that guy helped me out and gave me so much confidence and stuff when I really needed it, it doesn't mean I have to agree with every single thing.
I think, so you're touching on
even though
something.
he sets a great example in 9 out of 10 departments.
Sure. But you've got to take, if I can give advice on things, you've got to take things that people that you're watching, you've got to take things that they do well. I read a book, I wish I could think of who it was, but it's talking about you find 5 people and you put those, like those are your board. And so you kind of measure yourself as to what they're doing. You say, okay, this person does this really well. This person does this. And then you try to achieve those things because there's not one of us that's perfect.
No way.
So you find the things that you're good at, that you see someone else is good at, and you try to emulate what they're doing in that aspect, and then someone else in a different aspect. to work on those things. And then you just mold all those together and let it be you.
I love that. And I think that emulating someone, it doesn't mean that, you need to go out and try and be Uncle G. But his mindset, that dude Grant Cardone's mindset of, I'm unstoppable, I'm going to put myself out there, I'm going to find great people and do great deals. I don't care if people shit on me. I'm going to post on social media 700 times a day. I'm going to go on Fox News, CNN News, this news, that news, the other news, and I'm going to give my opinion, and I'm going to push my business. People are going to love me, and people are going to... That mindset is usually what people want to emulate, and instead they go buy belts and clothes and watches and stuff, and they think that they're emulating Uncle G, when in reality it's the mindset and the execution that you actually want to duplicate. You can do that in your Levi's jeans. You don't need, you know what I'm saying? This is where the disconnect happened with entrepreneurs on the internet, is that we were told that yachts and Miami and freaking this and that and the other thing was success, when real success is having a great team, great deal flow, and good deals, and everybody's paid. And on Thanksgiving, you can hang out with your family.
So 100% agree with you. You think about this. So what do you call somebody that's what are they doing? A doctor and a lawyer. They call it a what?
You're running a practice.
You're running a practice. Guess what? You're doing as well. You're running a practice, but we don't talk about that, right?
Right.
And you were referring to athletes earlier. All those people practiced what they were wanting to do.
100
There's so many
hours.
So many people, including myself. I don't like the practice. Well, sometimes we got to practice to get better and to work on those things so that we can execute at the level that we want to execute. Grant practiced a ton to get where he's at.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you look at old Grant Cardone videos, and they're kind of funny. You know what I'm saying? And then you look at him now, he's even in better shape now. He's a better communicator now. And those old videos are actually still pretty good videos. And they were probably one of the better things out back then. Now we have the ability, because of people like Grant, he paved the way for entrepreneurs to set up their own stage, do their own events, have their own groups, network. He showed us that shit was possible. When I played at Mandalay Bay on his lunch break, that was like the biggest gig you could possibly imagine being a kid from St. Louis. We thought that shit was impossible. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, okay, well, what can I do now? That was more of confidence and mindset than it was execution at that point. Because I had already played those songs 1,000 times for 15 years. But if you're not in the right room or you're not around the right people, it doesn't matter how well you execute.
You do have to surround yourself with the right people.
That's everything.
And those people, you need to be around people that are lifting you up.
Like, especially if you're younger.
100%. They don't need to be falsely lifting you up, but they need to be encouraging you, lifting you up, and calling you out when you're not doing things.
Right.
That's how you know you're in the right spot.
So I like this loop, because investors need investors is really what I want to hit today. If you're out and you're acquiring a ton of properties, oh good, it's dying, I'll go get some more batteries. If you're out and you're acquiring more properties, I'll go grab some more batteries while I ask him this question. We're stress testing the gear today, J-Dubs.
Perfect.
So if you're out and you are looking at properties and somebody calls your company and you can't answer the phone, how do you handle that when it comes to setting an appointment that you might need without losing the appointment? Do you use like an AI call service, or do you use like what do you use for that? Here, I can change this out.
I do not have an AI call service. I've got a text message. If somebody calls and I don't answer, I've got a text message that goes out that tells them that I will call them back as soon as I can.
Right.
I've got someone that helps me on my team to if those calls are missed, to try to return that call as soon as possible. I need to get on the AI train.
So
and
hold
figure
on.
that
So
out.
if somebody
I'm not there
calls
yet.
you, there's a text message thing that happens?
There's a text message that goes out, automatic reply, if I do not answer, that says you've reached JW Buys Houses. We're unable to answer the phone. We'll call you back as soon as we can.
That's not bad. So you do have something that responds.
100%.
So how does that work? Does that work from your mobile phone? How's that set up?
So I've got a CRM. I use Resimply as the CRM that I use. So it's just a automatic deal. And they've got the capability of having an AI agent answer the phone. If I don't, that can have a conversation with that person.
Okay. And so there are ways, folks, for you guys to literally not even miss a phone call. Because I know from experience, especially being a musician forever, still one, if I don't answer the phone, I lose the gig.
They're calling somebody else. If they don't get immediate response, we all want immediate gratification no matter what we're doing. And so, I mean,
like, hey, can you play tonight?
Yeah.
It's Friday night. Can you play at 10 after the other 5 o'clock gig? We need you this week.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, I'll be there.
Right. But if
I just got the gig.
If you don't answer,
they're
calling the next guy.
He's calling Dirty Harry down the street to come sing for $100 instead of $200. But he called me first. But dude, that's how business works. If I've got a freaking plumbing problem, I need it fixed now.
That's right.
Yesterday. And I think that in today's world, where are they going to go first? To the person that they know on social media.
100%. And the thing about it for me, I don't know about maybe I'm speaking for others. I don't even care. It depends on what the problem is. I don't even care if they're the cheapest person. If they can get there fast. There's certain situations. I just want the person that can get there fast. I want to be treated fairly, but I don't necessarily need the cheapest.
Well, that's the thing, is that the best customers are always the ones that value your dollar more than everybody else, regardless of what you pay. So the best customer is willing to pay more for a better service than pay less to wait, because the fast guy is never going to be the cheap guy. There's like a chart in creative marketing agencies on the wall. Like, if you want fast and cheap, then it's not going to be very good. But if you want good and fast, it's not going to be cheap.
Not cheap.
So in real estate, when it comes to closing deals, we're getting to summertime, and I think things are going to heat up. Since COVID, and they were printing all that money, giving all that money, hedge funds were buying everything. How has the market shifted?
I think the market is getting back to a normal market now. I mean, stuff is setting. I think in Amarillo we're at like 75 days. That's still pretty short. I think average historically, average days on market. You've got to balance. I've heard somebody say you got to balance market if stuff is setting for 6 months. Then it's like a neutral market. So anything that's moving faster than that, then you've got a seller's market. And then if it flips, I could have those numbers wrong. But again, we're getting back to more normalcy, right? I mean, stuff is setting. I mean, I'm noticing price drops. Stuff is setting for longer days on market. Those are things as investors that we've got to adjust for and account for. So we were talking about when you bought this house.
Oh yeah,
and the roller coaster of what that looks like going through the process.
It's a nightmare, you guys. For people that are buying houses, for selling a house, it's similar. But we only sold we've only had 2 houses, and we'll never buy another house. I already told you that. I'm good with this one. I'll be here forever. But the first house that we bought was like a smaller starter style home. And when we sold that house to move into this house, it wasn't a nightmare because our real estate agent was bad. He's great. He found this place, did a great job. It was a nightmare because of how up and down the deal structure is from the buyer's standpoint. I'm the fucking customer, okay? I'm the one spending their fucking money, okay? It's my money. I know it's your house I'm buying, but I'm selling my house, taking all that money and upgrading. It's fucking stressful. It just is. And so you have to understand, even me, I'm already super hyperactive. I'm an anxious type. I'm super energetic. And so like that friction is just, it's negative energy. And in my opinion, just as someone who's gone through the transaction process, if the steps were labeled and easy to follow, it wouldn't be that big of a deal for the buyer or probably the seller or whatever. But there is no central place for anyone to log in to see everything inside of a real estate transaction. It's just all over the place. 50 million emails. The title lady, the seller said this thing happened. The appraisal just came back and this thing needs to get fixed. Yeah, I mean, when from my perspective, and you probably understand this as an investor, and I'll let you run with it, but like, dude, it's not fun. I don't know how you guys do this every day as a business model. I much respect.
I think, let me ask you this question.
It's a very, very difficult process for a buyer and a seller to navigate, because now I've been both.
So if you would have been able to deal directly with the seller of this house, do you think that it would have been easier for you to deal with?
Maybe.
For me, I mean, I love real estate agents. I've got a couple houses listed right now.
Because the agent on the other side that we were buying from, this place had been on the market for X amount of months, like 13 months almost or something like that. So we were going for a price. I came in, I learned from you guys. I came in with the price deduction, was willing to up my floor, but I wanted to find the best deal possible. And we talked them down $100,000 on this property.
So you say that. If a house is sitting that long, these are things that I've got to evaluate. If a house is sitting that long, somebody missed the mark. Like a house shouldn't be sitting for 13 months. They should have lowered the price.
It was a while. And I think they did lower the price once. There might have been one price drop. I'll have old Tim Allreed comment on the video and watch at friggin' 32 minutes and 14 seconds. Was there an initial? I think they listed it higher. They had dropped it down, and then we came in super low, freaking wholesale style with a freaking slider way outside.
I think some of the reason that it's so stressful, a lot of times, one, you're dealing with emotions, you're dealing with people. There's a ton of other layers. Well, when you add multiple people in that, it creates even more personalities and more issues. That's why I prefer going direct to seller, because I can go and talk to the person and get exactly what's going on. I can figure out exactly what the problem is and try to figure out how to solve their problem best.
Right.
Sometimes that is going with a real estate agent. If they need the absolute most money, that's where they need to go. But as you remove layers, I think it makes it simpler to deal with.
Yeah, and I think that this is why investors, like everyone, if you're a real estate investor, everyone that you deal with around you, majority of those people should be real estate investors, because you have absolutely no idea where your next deal is going to come from unless your pipeline is super predictable, because you're one of these guys that's been doing this for long enough that you can predict what your pipeline looks like.
If I could predict what my pipeline was, or anybody for that matter, we would be sitting on the yacht all the time. It wouldn't be a 5-hour day.
None of those.
It's all unpredictable.
None of those people that I'm referring to are on yachts all day either, at all. You know what I mean?
Things change all the time, and people's mindsets change. I mean, situations change. But absolutely, I mean, you should hang out with like kind. I mean, you need to find a community of people that are going through similar things as you, so that when you're high, you can help the guy that's low, and when you're down low, there's the guy that's going to be next to you that's picking it, because they've experienced it.
Right. And the other thing is, it's just like, you just don't know where your next deal is going to come from unless you're surrounded by deal hunters. And in business or entrepreneurship, you've got to engulf yourself and just dive all the way into the deep end with everybody that you can that's trying to freaking make it. Because at the end of the day, your ability to to lift yourself up is going to lift other people up, and you're going to find a group of survivors, and those are the people that are going to help you make your bills. Because, dude, business is going to be up and down. It's like we see it all the time. Like that Sam Friedman guy or whatever was launches this freaking crypto thing and raises $1 gazillion. Then it turns into it's a fraud thing. And we see these people come and go all the time. All the time. They're the big thing. They're on the cover of all the magazines. And then the next day they're in freaking jail or wiped out.
So
it's about stamina at some point. Being the biggest and the baddest and all of that, dude, cool. Those are momentary wins because no one's on top of the mountain forever.
You were talking about momentum.
Yeah.
So within Titanium University, we have a slogan, #conquered. You've seen it.
Yeah, I like that. That's nice.
So it just lets people
with
know.
A K. Conquered with a K.
So it lets people know that, hey, I won. I'm winning. Well, when I see a lot of other people winning, that gives me confidence to know
I like that too.
Other people are winning. I need to go find my win. And it lets you know that, okay, other people are doing it. Like, it's going to come. My time's going to come. Maybe I'm down right now, but it's just wait around the corner. Keep putting in the work. Keep putting in the practice. And I'm going to get my time to #conquer.
And I think that I really like that community because there's always somebody posting that they closed a deal. So when I see people posting on the normal feed on Facebook that, is anybody else seeing this in real estate, or is anybody else hearing that in real estate? And I'm like, I don't know. People in Titanium University are closing deals.
Every day?
Every single day. So I guess it just depends on who you roll with. And so, I don't know. I would encourage people to just get around those groups. When I changed my environment, my results started to compound in a way that was way more going to provide a future for my family and for me with my skill set. You probably also need to get your skill sets analyzed. I don't know that I'm the person for that. But I can tell you that when I started hanging out with people that were doing big things, number one, none of those people ever told me that I couldn't do big things. The only people that will tell you that something's not possible are freaking losers that haven't done anything. Because people that have done something or made lots of money or made it and lost it and made it back or whatever the case may be, they understand how difficult it is in the first place. And so they don't shit on people that are actually going out there and trying to do something difficult. They understand that it's going to be difficult forever, and that once you get used to the difficulty, that your barrier goes up. Because that old meme of it never gets easier, you just get better, that shit is so true.
It is, and I love analogies. I love sports. I mean, you listen, you hear people talk about the game slowing down, and it's not that it slowed down. It's that you're able to process those things. So as you're working on your skills and as you're going through the tough times, then that, again, you just raise the bar.
Right.
You just raise the bar another level. And it's like, okay, I've done this. I can handle this. I've been through it. Let's just weather the storm. It'll be okay. And we're going to rise above it. And next time when it comes, guess what? It might be a bigger storm. But you just weather the other one and you're ready for it next time.
That's, I think, everything. And in real estate right now, interest rates are higher now than they were a few years ago. But again, even the MC knows that historically, even these interest rates that you guys are buying at are historically low. I think my parents bought their first house and it was like a 17% interest rate or something.
Back in the 80s?
Yeah, whenever I just remember the number, but I was like, holy fuck, that's terrible. Back then it wasn't.
Yeah.
So I think that also people, we've had it really good in the United States. We've had it good in America. We're spoiled.
100%.
We're spoiled, dude. And, when you lived in a van and drove around the country and sang in bars that were much less nice than where we're at on this stage. My stage is nicer than the shitholes I used to sing at. Dude, you start to have a different perspective and a different respect for what it really takes to build and create anything. Because it's easy to sit on your phone and look at someone that's successful on the internet and hate on them when you're just sitting on your phone in privacy and you can't even see that person or talk to that person. It's easy to look at something and be like, oh, well, whatever. But listen, successful people don't even think like that. Successful people see Taylor Swift, and whether I like her music or not, whether I like the Kansas City Chiefs or not, I don't really care for either one, to be completely honest. But dude, she's an unbelievable performer. She packs the house. She goes 3 straight hours on the stage. My kids like it. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about what she goes out and executes. She's very, very good. You have to be able to separate the two. Because when you get into business rooms with people, there's going to be people you don't like, but they're really good at something. And if they're honest and they're great at something, it doesn't matter if you like everything about that person. That's an asset for you. That's a tool in your toolbox that you can use. And if they're honest and they're transparent and they're good at executing, that's going to be everything when it comes to the future, because AI is going to be able to do so many mundane tasks. How are you going to rise above the AI? How are you going to make yourself so valuable in your category that AI can't get rid of you? That's the struggle that people are going to run into soon.
Absolutely. People crave human contact.
100%.
And we can rely on computers. We can rely on people want me or someone to answer the phone. I can have all the things in the world. If I get an AI agent, I'm probably calling someone else.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it.
Because I realize they need that. They crave that. So the people that can get out and can communicate, I mean, this comes from you, people that can communicate and go out and actually have a real conversation, those are the people that are, and I believe it, those are the people that are going to do the best.
100%.
Because you can't, who wants to do business with the guy that sits in the corner in the dark all day? He doesn't know how to talk. He can type, but he can't relate to people. And so we've got to get out. We've got to be able to relate. We've got to understand what it is that they're going through, whether we've been through it or we've dealt with other people going through it. And then we just got to help them walk through that path. I mean, you say you wish that you had, this is the stage we're in, this is the stage we're in. I have those processes. I know how to communicate those to my sellers. It goes a whole lot faster than what it took for you to buy this house.
Right.
Typically, I close in a week unless the seller of the house needs a little bit longer time. So that process is not strung out. It happens very rapidly. There tends to be title issues in real estate, especially the type of real estate that I deal in, and you've got to let them know what's needed. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go this step, and then I'm going to take it to title. Title's going to do their research, and they're going to figure out what needs to be done. Have you been married before? Do you have any children? So you were married and this husband and y'all had these children. Well, I've got to find those things. We've got to get all these people in contact.
Right.
We've got to get something from every one of them. If I set the expectation, now they know what's going on. And certainty is the biggest thing. When you were going through this, as you describe it, there was a lot of uncertainty, and it made you uncomfortable. Yeah,
because it's like, okay, well, what's going to go wrong? Or is my house going to sell at market price? Yeah. That was another thing. We spent quite a few bucks making that house one of the nicest houses in the neighborhood. Okay, well, it becomes a victim to what's stuff getting comped in the neighborhood now. Right. And so all of those factors keep you up at night.
So you talk about, I'm going to switch gears just a little bit.
Do it.
But you talk about, these are some, I just want to talk about mistakes that people make or things that people don't understand. Had a lady call me the other day, and she's got like a 2,500 square foot house in an 800 to 1,000 square foot neighborhood. And like I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I don't have any idea what the house is worth. I mean, it's on the tax rolls for like 3 times more than anything else around it. it will never sell. It will not sell for the amount of money that she has in the house. That's an extreme example, but you've got to make sure your house stays comparable to the neighborhood. You can't overdo it. You're not going to get that money out. If you want to spend that money just so you can enjoy it, that's one thing. But don't expect that you're always going to get all that money out of it.
Yeah, I think that's important. Is that people fall in love with the product. We used to call that smoking from your own stash back in the day. You know what I mean? You can't do that. You just can't. And I was never the person with the big stash, but at the same time, it's like, listen, dude, you can't just invest in your business. Say you're investing in your business X and then spend the cash or blow the cash.
Oh, cash can go in this game. Cash can go so fast.
Yikes. Especially in real estate. You're dealing with such big numbers. And this is another thing I was saying with the AI stuff. It's like, dude, if you're selling a $10 book, go ahead, AI it up. But if you want to do millions and millions and millions of dollars in business, dude, cool. You're going to have to deal with bank accounts, social security numbers, cards, title issues, this, that, the other thing, legal this, legal that. Dude, robots don't even have social security numbers. How are you going to have to do a fucking deal with a robot? You need people in your life that are doing real things in the real world. They already shut down Sora. The metaverse is out of business. Zuckerberg spent billions and billions of dollars on this metaverse bullshit that no one used. So again, don't get hung up in this AI cloud of AI is everything and I don't need people, a sales process, marketing, and fulfillment, because that is a business.
Absolutely.
Like, you guys have got to keep your freaking feet planted on planet Earth. I think people are way out in the clouds distracted in AI land.
I don't even like the self-checkout when I go somewhere.
I love AI, but you guys are just out there on cloud 9, staying up till 4 o'clock vibe coding, and it's not making your company any money. Right. You got it. I'm telling you, as an artist and a creative, I go down those rabbit holes too, and I have to stop myself. That's why we made the app system, because it's so much to keep everybody filming, posting into the group and doing this. And it's like, dude, we need all of this in one place or we're not going to be able to compete in 2028. People need to be able to log in, film their stuff, dump it to us, and go back to work.
We want easy in everything that we do. I mean,
back to work.
That's right, because it makes it easy, right? So now I just download it and send it over.
It's so much easier. And so in real estate, your ability to make yourself available for investors as a disposition person, as an acquisition person, as the lead underwriter person, you have to find what part of the process are you helping people move faster? What part of the process are you helping people get closer to the finish line, and be the go-to person in that piece of the process?
I want to add one thing to that. You've got to be able to communicate. The more communication you have with, whether it be with the seller of the house or your acquisitions partner, and if acquisitions, as you communicate with dispositions, you got to communicate. You've got to over communicate things. I would rather pick up the phone and talk, but guess what? Sometimes those things get forgotten.
Yeah.
You've got to create emails. You've got to have a chain. Everybody needs to know what's going on. That way things don't fall through the cracks.
Well, and you also assure by being available and communicating that things get done correctly. Because one of the biggest issues people have is that, okay, well, they give all this direction or they do all this work and then it gets close. Close doesn't count in business. That's why I think people who are so good at sports or professional athletes are good at business, because even if they don't win every single deal or they know how to finish the job. They know how to show up and play all the way through the last bell or whistle.
They know what it feels like when they don't.
Yeah.
And that you don't like that feeling.
Right.
I mean, because you can get a deal all the way, almost there. Well, guess what? I spent 3 weeks working on this.
And money,
right? Because there's always time and money, both, right? And so you get it all the way there and it doesn't finish. I mean, it's like getting punched in the gut.
Yeah, that sucks, dude. The real estate's difficult. And I think that we're getting into a way more real conversation about real estate investing, which is good because, again, for a minute there, it was just like this shiny TV show thing that is just not the reality of what a real estate business looks like. That might be what a deal looks like or a transformation on a home looks like. And some of it is hysterical. You got to beat the shit house, you fix it up, you make a couple bucks, and it's great. But like, okay, well, who's the contractor? Who's paying for it? How much are the holding costs? What are the insurance costs? What's the HOA fees? You are eating costs when you do a property flip like that, which is, in my opinion, why if I was going to become a real estate investor tomorrow and quit everything, I would just focus on virtual wholesaling. What are the goods and bads of that?
I mean, I'm working
again.
On
this
my
is just
skills.
Me from the outside.
It is. I mean, there's certain skills that takes, and you've got to work on those skills. Those skills do not come overnight. It's easier for me to go close in person. I prefer it. I'm working on my skills to close virtually.
Right.
There's whole other aspects of that. But when you talk about trying to flip a house and go through all of those things, and I will flip a house, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I can assign a contract, and I can wholesale a deal in under 30 days. And as I'm doing a flip, I mean, it's going to take me 60 to 90 days, and that's if everything goes good. And so you look at your dollar per hour, and I make a whole lot more money per hour when I wholesale a deal versus when I do a flip.
So that's something for you guys to think about out there. I mean, if you're chasing these deals and you're a real estate investor, flipping the piece of paper to somebody that needs it or that can afford to fix it up, if it's not something you want to take a gamble on fixing up, those types of deals are out there. They're everywhere. They
are. And, a lot of times guys will bring deals to me to buy. And I'm like, yeah, it's not worth it. I mean, you've got to make it worth it for the investor. I mean, the time, people do not realize the time, the effort,
they don't.
The mental anguish that you go through as you're trying to not only get the house ready, but when the house is on the market. I mean, you talk just a little bit about your house, trying to sell your house as well.
It's nothing but respect for you guys doing these deals to provide for your families. I think that, especially even agent fees, I think it's worth it because for someone like me, I would have never found this house. This is an on-market MLS, I think, property that we found. You got to be careful going off market if you're moving your family into it. I don't want to move my family into your fucking fix and flip. Those are completely different things. Y'all can have that. So I have to be aware of that as a buyer. But when you're selling your house and you want to get prime dollar for it, that's stressful too.
There's good real estate agents are worth every penny that you
pay
them.
They are.
There's tons of time. There's tons of marketing that go in that. They've got to navigate all the different scenarios. They help you from a legal standpoint to keep you in. They've got a fiduciary duty to help you. And there's a lot of things that they know. They've saved me a ton of money, advised me along with certain different things. So no, their agents are, in my opinion, good ones, are worth every penny.
They're great. Our guy's great. Tim Allreed's his name. He's funny in Facebook comments, but he's good at real estate. But you got to have those people, man. You guys stop thinking. Get it out of your head that like you're going to be this one-man gazillion-dollar business. I see people posting that's possible. I think it is in the future because artificial intelligence can help you do a whole lot more. We saw this in the music industry with DJs, where DJs were eliminating full bands. We saw that 10, 15 years ago when I was a cover artist in San Diego singing tunes at the bar. I purposely sang from 5 to 8 because I didn't have to compete with the cover bands and I didn't have to compete with the DJs that performed from 9 to 1. I also got to go home with my wife with a paycheck while everybody else had to stay up all night to get the same amount of money. You have to find where is your client avatar, what are you an expert at, and how are you helping those people? No matter what your business model is, whether you're singing Wonderwall in the corner of a shithole or you're buying luxury rentals or luxury shitholes. I don't know. You know, they make luxury shitholes.
I don't think those two things go.
I think
I don't
there's
think
luxury.
they go together.
I think
Pat.
there's luxury shitholes because I think a lot of people will ask you for this for their house,
Sure.
and it's really a shithole. They think it's luxury.
They think it's luxury.
That's where that came from.
So
you think it's worth $800, but it's worth $350.
Absolutely, right? Yeah, with those two things, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. You were asking, I mean, what would I do tomorrow? And we're talking
if you
about,
had to start over.
That's right. We're talking about wholesaling primarily. I prefer that, but there's people that would rather go flip. Like they get enjoyment from that. They don't want to talk to home sellers.
They love it.
I enjoy talking to the sellers. I've got people that buy houses from me, and they're like, I don't want to talk to the sellers. They don't like. I mean, but I love. I mean, that gets me going.
Yeah.
So everybody's got their own. Everybody's got their thing that they like.
Right.
And you just got to find that thing. You got to practice it. You got to do it and do it well.
Well, and that's the other thing is I remember 2016 and 2017 when I first started following Grant Cardone. He would drive around with his wife and they would look at real estate deals every Saturday and Sunday morning with their coffee. Drive around and look at deals. Drive around and look at deals. Well, they still do that. Now they have a jet, but they still do the same thing that they were doing. They've been looking at deals for decades. That's why he's still finding deals. And again, yeah, the market's shifting and everybody's got an opinion about his apartment complexes, but they wouldn't be talking about him if they weren't watching him.
That's a fact.
So, clearly he is somebody that people watch, that people have taken a lot of notes on. And you probably watching this are capable of everything that he's done. You just have to pick something and get great at it and do it every single day. And I think that's where people get hung up, is that they just don't do it every day. They find ways to avoid doing what they need to do. Then they wake up without the result that they wanted, and they're mad that they didn't get the result that they wanted, instead of being mad that they didn't do the work to get the result.
So within Titanium University, RJ talks falling in love with the process. None of us like the process.
The process of anything is brutal.
It's terrible.
I don't care what it is.
So if you fall in love with the process, then that's how you get the results. So you've got. I mean, I'm on a health journey right now, and I do not like working out. I do not like the process. But after I've done it for 15 consecutive days, it makes it a whole lot easier to do
100%.
it because I'm in that pattern, I'm in that routine of doing it.
Dude, I have a Stairmaster in the garage and a little sauna over here in the other room, because I know that if I don't have it here, I risk just not doing it.
It's a lot easier when it's at your house.
Yeah, weights,
versus
Stairmaster, a little dip thing, and I just do the stuff here because I hate going to the gym across the street. Number one, it's just a shitty gym. It's just not nice. And I go there and I want to do a specific workout, and there's people using the machines, and I don't like that.
Do you know?
Get off my motherfucking machine.
Get off your machine. So we're going to change, just shift just a little bit. I mean, my wife is the health person. She helps me stay in line.
There you go.
But just doing body weight on your legs, the stronger your legs are, the first thing to go. You hear about old people falling.
Oh yeah,
and break it. Well, because they've lost muscle in their legs.
Yeah.
Just even if you don't have weights, I mean, you can do just body weight squats.
Well,
I mean,
listen, dude,
you can get sore just doing that.
The gurus that tell you that fitness is a part of success in business are actually accurate. I mean, you got your Warren Buffetts. If you want to find an example to support your argument, you can always find it. Warren Buffett drinks Diet Coke and eats McDonald's. Well, Warren Buffett's also an investor in Coca-Cola and McDonald's. So I think that's all part of his investment thesis. But also, you have to remember that you're not Warren Buffett. I think we watch these people and we're like, well, they do it, so that means I should do it. It's like, no. you're not Warren Buffett. You're not Grant Cardone. You're not this person or the other person. Figure out you and what you need to do today to get better results. Because we see so many people and we think that's what it needs to be. Or we see one person doing something that we aren't aiming for in another category, and we justify not aiming higher by using that person as an example in that category. Well, Warren Buffett's like the richest guy ever, and he freaking isn't in great shape. Yeah, cool, dude. You're not Warren Buffett.
I'm going to say that Warren Buffett has things that he does every single day. He might not be in great shape, but I bet he does very simple things every single day, and he has a routine that he follows.
100%.
I bet his day is completely regimented.
100%. And I mean, there's no budging for those people. There's departments where that guy's so high level that you wouldn't even understand it, and neither would I. And it's the shit that you don't see that somebody does every day that makes them successful. Not necessarily like daily videos. We always tell people post daily videos. That is a example of your ability to be accountable to yourself on your social media page. And when you have that standard for yourself, and then you go and you talk to some other people about what they're doing, and they're doing this or they're doing that or they're in business, and they don't have that standard, you start to ask yourself, like, well, why don't you post anything? Same thing, like if I didn't call anybody and I wondered why I had no real estate deals, you'd be like, dude, you don't call anybody.
The consistency's hard, but we have to stick with the consistency. You look at successful people and they are consistent in what they do. Whatever that is, it might not be the healthiest regimen, but they're consistent with it.
100%. And the other thing is that people will tell you what's healthy and what's unhealthy. People will tell you that, drinking red wine every now and then is healthy, when we all know that alcohol is a toxin. It just is. So people will convince you that something that is unhealthy is healthy just to get you to go along with their lower standards. Don't follow people down. You need to be in environments that only make you jump, that only make you produce more output or execute at a higher level. And again, take it from me, man. I'm someone who just plain couldn't find the right stage for years and 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 years. But I just kept playing every place that would let me play. And so that's part of it too. If you're not willing to put in 10 or 15 or 20 years to be great at something, then I don't know how you can possibly expect to get great results with not a great effort. Because, dude, business is changing so much to the point where, the people that are available that can communicate are the ones that are going to stand out.
Absolutely. And we were dogging AI earlier, and we still
and
need
we
people.
Should. AI rules, but it's not you. It's not human. You need to go out and do what you need to do.
It's the yin and the yang. There's a little bit of good in every bad and a little bit of bad in every good. So we need to stay up with that. We need to know how to use it and what it can do, but it shouldn't be the focus of our business.
Well, yeah. And I mean, unless you're like an AI company and that's what you sell is workflows and this and that, show me how your workflow benefits my company. Most of the stuff that I see, even people that are using tools and stuff, it does nothing for me. We had to build our own app system with AWS, which isn't even an AI system, to create a web app that gives people scripts, gives people a way to upload right to our team, has a community built in, etc. Because those other AI tools didn't do it for us. We had to build it for ourselves. Replit couldn't do it. All the web, what was the other one? Roti or whatever. All your guys' little application builders, they all suck. Okay? They all suck. So I'll be the one to say it. They're useless. You build all this shit and you can't even use it. And then I go to an AI real coder, and he's like, oh yeah, I could do that in AWS. I'm like, what's AWS? Amazon Web Services. So a website builder, you could build this whole thing? What am I in this AI coding software thing for? And then he built it for practically nothing. And it saves me money every month to just use that. So I think a lot of us are overthinking tools, softwares, this, the other thing, instead of how am I meeting more people, booking more appointments, and getting more sales. Where it's like, I see so much on the internet about AI and ChatGPT. Here's my fucking caricature. And it's just like, dude, what? Okay. I still don't even know what you do. But nice caricature. So, ladies and gentlemen, get out there and do it. So, JW, Amarillo's finest home buyer, let people know how you can help them either get their deals closed or, come and look at their home. Give them your spiel here, J-Dubs.
Pretty simple. Give me a call. Let's hop on the phone and let's talk. Try to figure out what your situation is, how much you need to get for the house. And if I feel like I'm a good fit, then I'll come take a look at it and we'll figure out if we can make everything work. I'm not the best fit for everyone. I'm not paying what you can get if you list the house on the market. I'll be happy to help you and talk to you about things. I have other solutions. I've got other ways to solve your problems versus me just buying the house. But yeah, I mean, I can save you some money in some other ways. And part of that's just sharing knowledge that's been imparted upon me. Sometimes I'm just here to give you information, and that's okay. But yeah, I mean, if you got a deal, if you know somebody that's needing to sell a house or wanting to sell a house, reach out to me, and let's get connected and see if we can help you get that deal taken care of.
And that's anywhere in Texas now, because you were just Amarillo, and now it's like, hey, listen, there's so many deals. As many deals as you can bring to the table in Texas, you want to look at them.
I do. I want to look at deals across the state. I might not be the exact buyer for that, but I've got a network of people that I can reach out to that are buying across the state. So I do want to look at more deals just to connect, like we were talking about earlier, connect investors with other investors.
That's the whole game, guys.
There's people that are looking for deals all over the place, and if I can evaluate that deal and understand if it's a deal for them, and reach out to them and make that work. I mean, it's all about connections. It's all about getting people in touch with the right people to make everything work.
100%. And like I said when we were hanging out, dude, business acquisitions and real estate acquisitions, the two places that I see operators, buyers, sellers, brokers, all these things kind of come together to help each other find the best way to work together, because if you don't work together, there's no deal and no one makes any money. So if you can't work together with people in the future to help other people get paid too, because you're one of these stingy, I don't do business like that, so I don't know, but like there's people that they just want to make all the money every time. And it's just, that doesn't work. If you run a real business, you spend money, you pay money to people, you leverage money, you do all these things with other people so that you can get a specific result. And so I would encourage people to think collaborative over anything else moving forward, because there's plenty of deals out there that aren't getting done because people just aren't connecting the dots. Be the person that is the connector, and that's how you're going to win, in my opinion, in any business model moving forward.
Connectors make more money than anybody else.
Connectors make more money, dude. It's just a fact. So get out there and get connected. Rocking and rolling. It's J-Dubs, buying houses all over the state of Texas, and we'll see you on the next one. Yeah, baby.